So I thought we could do a gentle dynamic head to toe. And I will meet you on the mat. So starting in mountain pose, we'll get our feet under our hips and our shoulders stacked on top. Allowing the shoulders to melt away from the ears. And with a few deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth, we'll settle into our bodies. Noticing the softening of our faces. Our shoulders and our abdomen. Allowing our breath to assume its natural rhythm in and out through the nose. Just noting the speed and the depth. The pauses at the top and the bottom. Not trying to change it, just being aware of it. Knowing that we can rely on our breath as our guide. If it becomes labored, perhaps we need to pull back, slow down, or reflect. Not only in our practice here on the mat, but when encountering daily events and struggles. Running through a body scan from head to toe to get a sense of the mood and the energy of the body. Feeling the grounding of our feet into the mat. And perhaps visualizing them rooted into the earth. Bringing our awareness back up to the breath. Perhaps setting an intention for today's practice. Bringing our awareness back to the space around us, the smells, the sounds, and the temperature. We'll slowly lower our chins to our chest. And we'll lift our head. Inhaling, lifting. Exhale, lowering chin to chest. Pausing at the top and the bottom, finding our range of motion up and down. One more. Bringing our chins back to our chest. And we'll slowly roll our head left to right. Gaining range of motion each time. Slowly warming into our necks and our upper backs. Perhaps noticing a bit of tightness and tension. Just easing our way into it, honoring the state of our body. Maintaining our calm, steady rhythm of breath. Rolling through the chin to chest, over to the left and over to the right. And then we'll hold one ear to one shoulder when we get there. Keeping our shoulders level, listening to our breath and not pushing too far too fast. Elongating through the neck, from the ear all the way through the opposite arm. Perhaps we lift that arm, moving it around, lifting, lowering side to side, seeing where we might be holding tension that we can gently move around. Perhaps we move our head, keeping length, not collapsing, exploring. Deep breaths in. And on the next exhale, we roll over to the other side. Ear comes over the shoulder. We find length, once again, from the ear all the way through the neck, the upper back, and down the arm. And perhaps we move the arm around, perhaps we move the head around. Being curious as to where and how we're holding tension patterns, and which ones we may be able to just modify a little bit. No expectation, mostly curiosity. Beautiful, deep breaths in. And on the exhale, we bring our chin back to our chest, releasing the arm, holding here. 3 big breaths into the upper back and neck. And on the next inhale, we lift our heads, maybe with the help of our hand. And we roll our shoulders up and back, getting right into the neck. Raising the shoulders up towards the ears, feeling the difference of the up and down motions. And then we'll switch directions, drawing the shoulder blades in and back, and then lifting the shoulders up and around to the front. Crick, crack, moving the cobwebs out of our upper back, our shoulders and neck. And we release here, bringing our shoulders up and back, resetting. Deep breath in between. Touch. With our hands, palms facing forward, we'll draw the arms back on the inhale, and we'll bring them back around on the exhale. Inhale, rotating the palms open. Exhale, bringing the arms around to the front. With the rhythm of our breath, lifting our chests, rounding forward. Drawing our shoulder blades in and back, squeezing them into the spine. 3 more. Keeping our knees soft. Last one. And then we switch directions, palms facing back. Inhale, reaching the arms up forward. And bringing the arms back around, exhaling. Perhaps leading with the pinky fingers. Drawing the back of the hands together as possible. Noticing the yummy sensations across the chest, through the shoulders and down the arms. 3 more. Last one. And bringing our hands behind our backs, interlacing, driving the knuckles down, opening the chest. That might be intense enough, and if not, we can lift the hands away from our back, away from our body, noticing what happens down the arms, maybe even into the shoulders and across the chest. Breathing calm and steady here. In and out through the nose as possible. Softness in our knees and length in our torso. And we release out of that. Oh, and we'll do our hugs, opening our arms, lifting our chests, inhaling. Exhale, we round forward, drawing all the energy in towards us. Inhale, we open ourselves up. Exhale, we draw ourselves back in. Inhale, opening our tools to the universe, our light and love. Exhale, we bring the tools in that we need to continue shining brightly. With our breath, we continue to flow, nurturing ourselves, knowing that by giving and contributing to others, to our communities, the universe brings peace, love, and joy to ourselves. Two more. Inhaling back to standing mountain pose. Deep breath in. And we sigh it out. Inhaling, reaching our arms up over our shoulders. Lifting them above our shoulders, reaching the fingertips to the sky. Finding length in our side body. We'll grab onto our left wrist. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, side bend over to the right. Keeping ourselves anchored through our left hip and left foot. Inhale, reaching big. We're not collapsing on the left side, but we're adding space to the left. Perhaps we push a bit more weight over to the left by coming up on our toes of the right foot. Big breaths. Finding grounding of both feet. With each exhalation, we'll slowly hinge forward, rolling ourselves. Big breaths in. Exhale, we roll another couple inches. Big breaths in, and we roll. Slowly coming to our forward fold. Noticing the yummy sensations along the way. Slowly allowing our heads and our arms to hang heavy. And we all meet up in forward fold when we get there. No rush. Perhaps we bring our hands to the inside of our arms. Perhaps we allow them to hang heavy. Whatever we feel we need at this point, as we slowly warm into our entire body. Knowing that we may have a little bit of tightness still in the legs. And we're yet to work that out. So we want to be gentle until we get there. slowly roll ourselves up like ragdolls, bending our knees, stacking the vertebrae, shoulders, and head. We lift our arms up all the way over our shoulders once again, reaching the fingertips up, finding length in the side body. This time grabbing onto the opposite wrists. We inhale, reaching up. We exhale, coming over to the opposite side. Knowing this doesn't have to be a big movement to be effective. Creating space down the side body. Noticing patterns of tension between the fingertips and the hip. Perhaps we slowly increase the weight over to the side by lifting ourselves up on the toes, the opposite leg. Finding our pose, our curiosity. With a calm, steady rhythm of breath. Noticing if it changes or becomes labored, we know to just ease out of the pose a bit. And finding grounding of both feet, deep breaths in. And on each exhalation, we'll slowly start to roll forward. Pausing with each exhalation to notice the sensations and how they transform. How they might be different than on the opposite side. Slowly waking our way into our forward fold. Meeting up here when we get here. Hanging out for a few breaths. And slowly rolling ourselves up, gently taking a deep breath in. And exhaling, bending the knees, rolling up the vertebrae, shoulders and head. Feeling all those yummy sensations down the back body. Coming back to standing. Deep breaths in. We sigh it out. And let's open our feet ever so slightly. We'll go through our dynamic squat to forward fold. Inhale, reaching the arms up. Palms together. Exhale, we sink through our squat. Inhale, we forward fold. Exhale, we roll ourselves up. Inhale, we reach our arms up over our shoulders, lifting our chest. Exhale, we sink through. Finding our flow to the speed of our breath. Inhale, forward fold. Exhale, warming back up through the spine. Arching our lower backs, lifting our chest, opening the abdomen. Exhale, we sink through. Warming into the hips. And the back of the legs. Noticing the pauses in the top and the bottom, those moments of stillness, of nourishment for our body and mind. Creating space in both the body and the mind. Let's do one more. And deconstructing this one. Inhale, reaching up. Palms together, lifting our chest, opening the abdomen, opening the lower back. And sinking through into our squat, holding Malasana squat. Finding length in the torso as we hinge into the hips, opening the legs as wide as we need to nourish those hip joints, to find length in the torso, pressing the elbows against the inner thighs, noticing the sensations down the back, across the lower back, and into the hips. And our next inhale, we hinge forward into our forward fold, straightening our legs, bringing our hands to the earth. Widening our stance, double hip width here. Allowing the head and the arms to hang heavy. Feeling the feet fully grounded into the mat, both sides, the toes and the heels. We'll bring our left hand under our face, lifting our right arm up over our back, lifting and driving the fingertips up towards the sky. Using our left hand as leverage, opening into the left side of the inner thigh. Noticing what's happening in our lower back, up through the spine, into the upper back, into the shoulder blade, and into the arm. Using our arms as a conduit of energy and light, drawing it in through our fingertips, in and illuminating our entire bodies. Calm, steady rhythm of breath. And we bring our right hand down, placing it under our face. And with the inhalation, our left arm opens up. We press our right hand into the earth, pressing into the inner thigh on the right leg, lifting our left arm high into the sky. Perhaps noticing how we are connected to the universe, how we are a part of it. Perhaps even visualizing ourselves as little pixels of energy that just mush into the pixels of energy that surround us, blending, floating, affecting positively. And bringing our left hand all the way down, back into our forward fold, wide legs, letting the head hang heavy. Inhaling, bringing our torso parallel to the floor, and we're shifting over to the left side. Staying high to start. Lateral lunge here. We support, we open into the inner thigh. Lifting our chests through, finding length in our torso and spine.
Beautiful. And if desired, we can rotate our right foot, toes pointed up. We can sink over to the left, into the hip. So long as we're working into the inner thigh, we're finding the pose to be effective. We stay where our body needs us to be. No competition, no judgment. Nice. Inhale, we press ourselves back to center, pressing our hands into the earth to support us. And then we'll shift ourselves over to the opposite leg, shifting into our high lateral lunge, finding support with our hands on the earth, checking in with the inner thigh, finding stability, lengthen our torso, and as and when desired, we can lower down, lifting the toes, driving the toes up to the sky, continuing to work through the inner thigh into the knee, lifting our chests and our gaze, deep breaths, appreciating all the yummy sensations that we might be feeling grateful for those sensations to remind us that we are alive and that we are working our bodies, nourishing them, and caring for them so that they can continue to be the incredible machines that they are. Next inhalation, we'll press ourselves back to center, pointing the toes forward, wide forward fold, hanging our heads heavy in the center. Option here to bring our head and our arms over to one leg. Slow and steady, letting the hands connect wherever they will naturally on the leg, not forcing anything. Just allowing ourselves to melt into the pose, releasing tension that we might hold in the back of the legs. Supporting ourselves along the way so as not to stress the body, but to support it so that it can feel the benefits of this nourishing practice. And on the inhale, we'll come back to center. We reset. And we go over to the other side if we chose. Again, letting the hands connect naturally. And then noticing how the back of the leg and the lower back start to release energy and tension. Calm, steady rhythm of breath. Easing back as needed. Not retaining any stress in the jaw or the neck, letting the head hang heavy. Then we come back to the center, resetting here, bending the knees slightly, letting our heads hang heavy. And on the inhale, we straighten and lengthen our torso parallel to the floor. And we'll wiggle our feet in underneath the hips. Lifting our hands off the earth, bringing them into the elbows if it feels accessible. If this causes too much strain on the back of the legs, we find our hands back to the earth for support. Two more big breaths here.
And we'll slowly lower ourselves down to seated pose, easy seated to start.
Bringing our left foot in front of our right.
Grabbing a sip of water if desired.
Beautiful.
With our left foot in front of the right. Let's do some butterflies, bringing our hands onto our knees, using the knees as leverage. We'll inhale, lifting our chest through, arching our lower back, drawing the shoulder blades together. Exhale, we round into the spine, lowering our chins to our chests. Inhale, we lift through our hearts. And exhale, we round through. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, we round. Noticing yummy warmth in the upper back and neck. Gentle flow to warm the hips and the hip joints. 3 more. Flowing with the steady in and out through the nose of our breath. Creating fluidity in the spine. Releasing our life force from our spine through this nourishing motion. We inhale back to center when we get there. Resetting, inhale, rolling our shoulders up and back. Bringing our hands to the sides, up on the fingertips. Left arm comes over our shoulder. We inhale, reaching up to the sky, and then we walk our right hand out. We come into our side bend, keeping our left sit bone glued to the mat. Maybe we actively press that left knee towards the mat to keep us firmly planted. We use our right arm to lower into, perhaps on the forearm, perhaps we stay high, reaching our left arm over our ear. Noticing how we melt into our side body, noticing the sensations down the left side, into the hip and into the lower back. Breathing awareness into any areas of discomfort. Loving and nurturing our bodies. Resetting for the week ahead. And we inhale, pressing ourselves back up, bringing our left hand to the earth. Resetting in the center. Inhale, reaching our right arm over our shoulder. Reaching all the way up to the sky, finding length. And then we walk over with our left fingertips, bringing our right arm over our ear. Gentle side bend, keeping our right hip firmly connected to the earth. The sit bone is stuck to it. We're pressing our right knee into the mat. And slowly we can walk our left hand out, but we're here to support, to breathe space into the right side, to not create stress or a closing up of the body. Calm, steady rhythm of breath, using it as our guide.
Yummy. Inhale, reaching up, pressing up. Back to center. We roll the shoulders up and back. Let's extend our legs in front of us, Dandasana. Wiggle that out. Rolling the feet, giving them a little roll, point, flex. Soothing on the knees. Oh, yum. And then we'll bring our left foot in, right foot in front. And this time with our hands on the front of our shin. This is our leverage point for our butterflies. We inhale, rolling the shoulders back, drawing the shoulder blades to the spine, lifting our chest through. We exhale, we round back into the spine, butterflying the arms, finding our flow to the rhythm of our breath. Chin to chest, rounding, rolling in and opening. Smiles on our faces, lifting our hearts, lifting our chest and our gaze. Feeling the warmth into our spine. Creating fluidity. And creating headspace through our meditative flow. Two more. When we're finished, we all meet back up in neutral. Stacking the shoulders over our hips, rolling them up and back. We'll inhale, reaching both arms up over our shoulders. We exhale, lowering the arms to the earth, twisting over to the right, pressing our fingertips into the floor, the mat, the earth, lifting our torso tall, gazing over our right shoulder. Deep breaths in to massage the upper back and neck. Breathing into any areas of discomfort. Noticing how they transform. One more breath here. And on the next inhale, we come back to center, lifting our arms up over our shoulders. Finding length in our torso, we hinge forward, exhaling, bringing our hands to the earth. Melting into our hips, noticing shifts in tension to the back of the hips. Drawing our chest forward, and we melt to the floor. Supporting along the way. With our hands, forehands, fists, or of course we have blocks. Perhaps we're noticing sensations down the outside of the legs, into the knees. Maintaining curiosity and an openness to breathe nourishment and warmth into those areas. Inhale, pressing ourselves back up, stacking the vertebrae. Let's give our legs a little shake here before we do our opposite side twist. Releasing the knees, giving them a little wiggle. Rolling the feet, pointing and flexing. Yummy. So once again, bringing the left foot in, the right in front. Inhale, reaching our arms over our shoulders. And we're going to twist to the opposite side. For me, it's my left. Finding that length, twisting, bringing the hands to the earth, elongating through the spine, from the tailbone through to the crown of the head. Gazing over the left shoulder, breathing into areas of discomfort, and creating that space. Calm, steady rhythm of breath, softness in our face and jaw. And on the next inhale, we come back to center, lifting our arms up over our shoulders. And we hinge forward, bringing the hands back to the earth, finding length in our spine. Once again, sinking into the hips and noticing the sensations down the back of the legs, perhaps into the knees. And on the next inhale, we'll press ourselves back up. Bring the shoulders back over the hips. And we release the legs once again, coming into Dandasana. Wiggling it out. Wiggling out the feet. We'll do a few poses here in Dandasana with our legs extended, toes pointing up to the sky. Flexing the feet. Working the entire back body. Inhale, reaching the arms up, toes are pointed up. Elongating the spine. Deep breath in. Exhale, we hinge forward, reaching our arms parallel to the floor. Toes are pointed up. We should be feeling this down the back of the legs, through the calf muscles, into the bottoms of the feet, and we have the option to hold or to pulse. Option to keep the arms parallel to the floor if we're pulsing. Option to release the hands to the legs if we have no desire to pulse and we just want to hang out and be still. Keeping the toes pointed up to the sky. Keeping that dynamic tension down the back of the legs, into the fronts of the feet and the shins. Just firing everything up here. Three, two, last big breath. And we find stillness in our Dandasana, perhaps connecting our hands with our feet or our shins if we haven't already. Noticing the energy in our upper back, down the spine, into our lower back, down the glutes, into the hamstrings, the calf muscles, and into the fronts of our feet.
releasing the feet, wiggling them, rolling them out. We'll slowly stack the vertebrae one at a time. Shoulders and head. And we're going to come all the way down, bringing our feet to 90 degrees, planting them on the floor, tucking our hips into our heels, and we'll lower ourselves down into our bridge pose, letting the lower back slowly assume its natural curvature. Crick, crack, crick, crack. Good. Bringing the bottoms of the feet together, we're going to open our legs into butterfly here. They may slip out a little ways, no problems, so long as we've got our head, our shoulder blades, our hips, and the outsides of our feet connected to the earth. Noticing a gentle opening here, perhaps noticing some new sensations in the lower back, the structure of our spine. Perhaps even into the abdomen, noticing how everything is connected. Three more breaths here. We'll slowly bring our knees back up, closing the legs, and then hugging the knees into the chest. Maybe we rock, maybe we pulse, or we find stillness as desired by the body. Extending our feet over our hips, driving the heels up, pointing the toes towards our foreheads. Option to lift our head and shoulders off the mat and hug it in. Gentle expressions on our faces. We can wiggle the feet, pointing and flexing. And then bring those toes back towards the head, driving the heels up, flexing all the way through the back of the body. Releasing the feet, wiggle them out. Yummy. And we're going to bring the legs all the way back down. With the left knee over the right, we'll thread the needle and hug it in, either behind the thigh or on top of the knee, the shin, rocking, pulsing, or finding stillness. We can bring our head back to the earth, or we can keep it upwards, hugging ourselves in. Checking in with the outside of the leg, all the way through to the knee, how it's connected to the lower back, into the spine. Nourishing here in every pose, giving our bodies the opportunity to release tension, to clear blockages, to allow the energy, the light, and the blood to flow a little more freely. Good. Bringing our right foot to the earth, we're going to grab our left foot with our right hand, and we're going to bring both to the earth. So our right knee is down on the floor. The left foot is on the floor, and we have the option to butterfly the left knee Gentle pulses into the left hip flexor, down through the IT band, checking in. If this feels accessible, we can pulse or we can simply find stillness. Gently bringing awareness to the outside of the left leg. Our right leg is at about 45-degree angle on the floor. And then slowly we're going to bring our left leg on top of it, bringing the left foot in towards our groin, in towards our center. And we can continue to butterfly that left knee as desired, holding on to the left foot. When we feel we're ready to release the left foot from our right hand, we can do so, stacking our legs on top of one another, letting the lower back assume its natural curvature. And we release, extending the legs long on the mat, resetting here. Deep breath in through the nose and sighing it out through the mouth. We draw our knees back in, giving them a gentle hug, narrow or wide. And once again, rocking, pulsing, or finding stillness as desired. Extending our feet over our hips, driving the heels up, toes pointed towards our faces, and once again we can hug it in, or we can keep our shoulders and head on the mat. And roll the feet, pointing and flexing, roll them out, and then we come back into our flexed foot pose, driving the heels up, toes towards the face. Notice the difference. And if we're hugging it in, we're surely feeling energy running down the back of the legs. And wiggle out those feet again, rolling, pointing, flexing, perhaps changing directions. And then the right leg comes over the left thigh. We hug it in, threading the needle behind the thigh or on top of the shin. Rocking, pulsing, or hugging in tightly. Whatever we need to get the most benefit out of our practice and the most nourishment into our bodies. Good. Grabbing onto our right foot with our left hand. The left foot and knee come to the earth. The right foot comes to the earth. We open with a gentle rotation over to the left. Holding onto our left foot, we can butterfly our right knee. Checking in with what lights up down the leg and into the lower back. And slowly we can rotate the hips back upwards, hugging the right foot into our center, allowing the right knee to lower towards the earth. And again, we can butterfly that right knee. And when we're ready, we can release the right foot from our left hand and allow those legs to stack on top of each other naturally. Letting our lower back assume its natural curvature. Feeling the contact our body makes on the earth below. back of our head, our shoulder blades, the hips, and extending the legs long on the mat, feeling the back of the legs connect to the earth. Perhaps the ankles as the legs open gently, finding a comfortable, natural pose to finish our practice, allowing the practice to imprint on our bodies and minds. Running through a body scan from head to toe to notice the energy and the mood and how it may have changed from the beginning of our practice. Taking an opportunity to open our energy channels to the universe. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth, and visualizing light being drawn up from below our feet into our abdomen. Sighing it out through the top of our head into the universe. And working our way back down. Inhaling light and energy from the universe and exhaling it through our feet. Up and down we go. Visualizing light and connectivity. Tapping ourselves into this massive matrix of energy that is available to us. And then using ourselves to give it back to those around us. Energizing, empowering, loving and brightening as we go, having a positive impact on the world. One more. Filling our chest and our abdomen and releasing the energy, finding our grounding and connection. Hugging ourselves back into a little ball, drawing the knees into our chest. Slowly bringing our awareness back to the space around us. Sounds, temperature, and the smells. We'll slowly roll over to the side and press ourselves up gently back to an easy seated pose. Bringing our hands to heart center. Taking a moment to reflect on any intention that we may have set at the beginning of our practice. Perhaps we modify it slightly for the hours and days ahead, or we repeat it and solidify it in our minds. Taking a moment to give thanks for the opportunity to practice and to move and nourish our bodies, resetting ourselves for the week ahead, and giving great thanks for this community of light and love. Filling our hearts with gratitudes and our faces with smiles. Thank you for making time for your practice, the community, and allowing me to be part of the journey. Namaste.